My name's James Benger. I've got a new book coming out through Spartan Press called From the Back. That's the cover. Very, very cool cover done, put together by Jason Reberg at Spartan Press. I'm very fortunate to have this book come out. I've been working on it on and off for a long time, in between other projects, I guess. Unfortunately, like a lot of other people with books coming out, I can't really promote this in the traditional way, like doing readings at coffee shops and bars and bookstores and stuff like that. So I'm gonna try to post a video online of me reading some of the poems. I'll have a link down below, or at least some information on how you can order this book if you'd like to. So I'll try to keep this fairly brief and not bore you too much. Of course, I guess you can always hit stop if I am. The premise of this book, called From the Back, is a guy is sitting in the back booth of a bar with a pen and a pencil, or a pen and a notepad, sorry, and is recording everything he sees around him. And so each poem or piece or whatever you want to call these things is a character sketch of what he's seeing around him. So they're all loosely connected, but they can stand alone, and in fact a lot of these poems have shown up in other places, magazines and what have you, anthologies and stuff. So I thought I'd just read a handful of poems from this book. If you like what you hear, maybe you could order a copy, and we'll just start. I'll read the first poem in the book, which is also called From the Back, and it's sort of an introduction to the whole book. And you get a feel for the narrator's style and stuff. So, From the Back. I sit in this dark corner, watching it all happen. Another drink poured, another one spilled, another advance rebuffed, another temporary couple leave with hands in each other's back pockets. I sit in this dark corner and wonder why I do this. It serves no good. In the long run, the joint loses on soft drinks. I'm not doing anyone any good. But still, I end up here every night, pad on table, recording the minutia. Some of the long-timers have faded off, here every night and then just gone. The new ones come nearly every week. They'll all be part of my record, the record of my life, recording their lives. So that was sort of the introduction piece called From the Back. Here's one also from the book. This one showed up in a few other places. One of which is a book I did with Jason Baldinger, who is a very talented guy, and if you like any of my books, you'll like his more, so you should check him out. This one is called Aftertaste. What's left of the green plastic army man who drove a truck in Germany is slouched over the bar. In the dim lighting, it's hard to tell if he's awake, asleep, or more than asleep. A fourth or fifth glass of bourbon neat sits in front of him, the rim dangerously close to his slowly sinking forehead, threatening to impale him like all those near-miss bullets. He drinks alone every night, surrounded by intoxicants and the intoxicated, all packaged and sold long after his first physical war ended. He stirs, looks distastefully, distrustfully at the glass, then repeats the narrow-eyed grimace when he catches a glimpse of himself in the mirror behind the bar. Nothing tastes the same as it used to. Nothing but bourbon and grudges. Okay, so that one was called Aftertaste. And like I said, it's shown up in a few other places, including a book with Jason Baldinger. And I'll go ahead and do another one that's also showed up in a split I've done with Jason. This is actually also the title poem. A slightly different version of this has shown up as the title poem for another book called Everyone's Alone Tonight. So, this one is Everyone's Alone Tonight. There's too many people alone here tonight. Almost no conversation, unless you count the waitresses and bartenders angling for high test tips. The girl by the door, she keeps making the move, like she'll leave as soon as the last one is drained. But the next one comes before she can, stuck in an endless loop of just one more. The old man at the bar is more than hunched over his infinitely refilling shot and beer. The way his head droops, the liquid will outlast him. The wiry man in the back booth slowly nods his chin down to his chest, bouncing back up, barely touched pitcher vibrating on the scarred table. He shuffles to the can, comes back a few minutes later, a new man, runny nose, red eyes, and a can-do attitude. Everyone in this place is alone tonight. Even the old man in the back room, half-chewed cigar like some cartoon trope, sorting the cash, the checks, the crippling credit card receipts. Everyone's alone tonight, and this place won't fix it. Okay. Normally you have like an audience to play off of, so you can kind of tell how things are going. And I'm reading in my basement in a room just by myself, so hopefully this is slightly less awkward for you. So I'll do a different one from the book. This one's called Etiquette. There's only one urinal, one toilet, and it never fails that every time your back teeth are really floating, you're better off heading to the alley out back. I'm bleeding the dragon against the frozen brick wall, humid ammonia cloud rising like the noxious smoke from a fire at a munitions plant. The scurrying in the dumpster on the other side of the alley, I dismissed as rats, turns out to be a graying man, road-mapped skin and dull to the point of dead eyes. Some of the nicer patrons will piss in used beer bottles instead of using the wall. They leave them lined up, freezing to the pavement. The man gets up from the dumpster, picks up the bottle, tips it to his mouth. There's an equal chance it's beer, or piss, or cigarette ash and spit. I zip up and go back inside. Okay. Just for fun, I think I'm going to do one that's not in the book. This is one I just wrote the other day, and why not? So this one's called Happy Meal. She cried in the McDonald's drive-thru today. It came out of nowhere, right in between the chicken nugget Happy Meal and the Diet Cola. It all came boiling over, and she sat sobbing out the window, cars honking behind, befuddled minimum wage kid on the other side of the speaker. A solid 45 seconds of wails that seemed like all afternoon. Then she wiped snot on the back of her hand, did her best to pretend that nothing had happened, pulled forward, paid the kid. Collecting her greasy paper bag at the second window, she asked the teenager on the other side if maybe she could get some extra napkins. So that's a new one called Happy Meal. Not in the book, but sort of in the same vein as a lot of the stuff in the book. I think because we're starting to get kind of long here, I'll do one more from the book. This one is called Flowering. She sits with her sketch pad, corner booth, little light. Shouts and strobes will not disrupt her art. Dribbles of gin on the coaster under a mostly untouched glass. Her pencils fly with a weightlessness unknown and forever unnoticed by the regulars who mill about. the crack of another ball on its way to the pocket, another line in her masterpiece. I wonder why she comes here, to this chaotic maelstrom of malicious uncreativity. Then I look to my own paper and my own pen. She flies on the current of her pencil. In a knifed up booth, in a run-down bar, something beautiful is born. So that one was called Flowering. It's from a book called From the Back. Looks like that. It's through Spartan Press. If you've liked what you heard, I'd really appreciate it if you'd maybe order a copy of the book. I'll have some information down below to make that happen. It's getting released in a special edition of 100 signed and numbered copies to begin with. So if you'd like one of those, definitely order a copy now. I really hate being a salesman. This is really weird. But, you know, what else are you going to do, I guess? Thanks for listening and putting up with me this long. If you like what you heard and enough people want more of this, because it looks like we're not going to be doing any live readings anytime super soon, so maybe I'll do another one of these and I'll figure out something slightly more professional than clipping my phone to a mic stand in my basement. Alright, thanks for listening. The book's called From the Back. I'm James Benger. Thanks for putting up with me. I'm hitting stop now.